Hey all, first of all, I would like to thank you all for joining me today on this webinar. My name is Miki Markovic, and I'm the Global Tech Support Manager at Rosslare Security Product. On today's webinar, we will review the RosslareBIO 8000 product line and the way Rosslare integrate the BIO 8000 product line into AxTraxNG access control platform. Let's see what we have on today's agenda. So on this webinar, I will show the BIO 8000 product line technical presentation, how to connect and configure a biometric 8000 terminal on AxTraxNG platform, how to attach a terminal to a reader in the system, and the outcome of this based on the system access groups, how to enroll a fingerprint on the system, how to configure the user dual credential authentication feature, and at the end of this session, we will have a short session of question and answer. If you have any questions, you can type it on the Q&A section in your Zoom client. Without any delay, let's start with the product line presentation. So a little bit about Rosslare. Rosslare is a 35 years old experience. We manufacture mainly security product for the last 35 years, mainly in access control area. Everything is developed inside. We have two development centers in Israel. It's fully owned, private-owned company. We have our own factory in Shenzhen, China. Everything is manufactured in-house of Rosslare. Our worldwide presence, so our US location is based in Dallas, Texas. We have two locations in Latin America, in Colombia and Bogota and Argentina. Two development centers in Israel. Sales representative for India. 4 different locations in mainland China. And our main headquarters are based in Hong Kong. In addition, we also have many worldwide partners like Siemens, HID, Honeywell, ASSA ABLOY, etc. Those partners are working with Rosslare for many years now, and we're keeping including this partner list every day. Let's start with the BIO 8000 series. The BIO 8000 series include 2 different flavors of the terminals, one for indoor use and the other is for outdoor use. Both of them support 7,000 fingerprint templates. Both of them support 7,000 users. Each user is a 1 fingerprint. Support Wigan 26-bit output for access controller, and it's fully supported by AxTraxNG access control platform and the RosslareBIO 8000 management software. That the RosslareBIO 8000 management software is not part of today's webinar. This webinar will include on the products and the AxTraxNG platform. The BIO 85X0. The AYB 85X0 is the indoor use terminal. It's coming 2 different frequencies. The AYB 8520 that support 125 kilohertz EM reading, and the AYB 8550 that support 13.56 megahertz MIFI Classic CSN read, CSN only. As I said, this unit is for indoor use only. When we're looking on the unit, we can see that on the top of the unit, we will see the LED. Below it, you will see the RFID antenna for RFID reading, and the fingerprint sensors, sketch-proof, optical sketch-proof sensor. The LED behavior is as follows. Normal mode, the LED will be fade blue in and out. On a proof fingerprint, you will get a success sound and a green LED. On a denied fingerprint will be a denied sound and a short red LED. Any RFID card reading, you will see a short green light and a short beep. And if you see the LED flash blue fast, it means that the terminal is waiting for enrollment of administrator cards. The admin cards are used for enrollment and deleted of user manually directly on the terminal. Excuse me. On the bottom of the terminal, you will see a mini USB plug and a reset button. The mini USB plug is used for firmware update and direct communication with the BIO 8000 software solution, so you can upload and download information from the terminal using the BIO 8000 software directly with the USB plug. The reset button is used for a soft reset, and it's just like a power reset of the unit. On the back of the terminal, in this case, I will show you the terminal. So this is the back of the terminal. We can see a small 2-pin plug for power, 12-volt DC, a 4-pin plug for RJ45 for network communication connector. This is the network connector with the 4-pin plug, and another 6-wire plug that it's mainly used for weekend. So data 0 as a green wire and data 1 for white, the white wire. How to set new admin cards and reset the current admin cards. So first of all, every readers come with 2 admin cards, one for delete and one for enroll. This is the card coming with the unit in the box. In order to reset the cards and set new cards or set the same cards again, remove the reader from the wall, press the function button for 10 seconds till successfully. The function button is located here. This is the function button on the terminal. Present the new enroll card and present the new delete card. After each one of them, you will have a success sound. In addition, after presenting and approving of a new enroll card, you will see a green LED for approval, and the LED will turn to red as a symbol that the reader is waiting for the delete card. This is how to set a new admin cards. Now let's go to the AYB86X0. Again, the AYB86X0 come in 2 different frequencies. One, AYB8620, support 125 kHz EM cards, and the other, the AYB8650, support 13.56 MHz MIFARE Classic CSN read. This unit, in addition, is anti-vandal with IK10 rating and fits for other use with an IP65 rating. Excuse me. Again, the sensor is the same sensor, sketch-proof optical sensor. On the top of the unit, we have the LED with the same behavior as the AYB85X0. So let's go back to the LED behavior. On normal mode, it will fade blue LED in and out. On approved fingerprint, long green light and a success beep. On denied fingerprint, short denied sound and a red LED. On every card read, short green LED and short beep. And if the unit is waiting for admin enrollment, it will flash blue fingerprint. On the top of the, below the LED, we will see the fingerprint sensor. Below it, you will see the RFID reader, and a reset button is located on the button. Again, soft reset, just like a power reset. And this is the terminal itself. and the reset button is located here. On the back side of the AYB8660, we will have the temper, a mini USB plug, and a function button. Mini USB, again, used for PC enrollment using the BIO 8000 software and firmware update. The function button is used for resetting the admin cards. Wiring of the AYB8660. So there is 14 wires coming out from the AYB8660. The most significant ones are red and black for 12-volt DC power. Rigging output, green and white. Again, green for data 0 and white for data 1. Tamper as brown and orange, normally closed tamper output. And 4 wires with a connector for the RJ45 for the network communication. In setting a new admin cards. So first of all, we need to remove the reader from the wall. Press the function button for 10 seconds till a success beep. Present new enroll cards and present new delete card. Exactly the same as the AYB8580. Our next device on the BIO 8000 product line is the DRB 8000. This is the desktop fingerprint enrollment device. It's supported both by AxTraxNG client and RosslareBIO 8000 management software. He has a USB 2 connectivity, support any Windows OS above Windows 7, scratch-proof surface, crystal clear finger scan image. And the most important part, we don't need any driver installation. The correct way to enroll a finger. The correct way to enroll a finger is to place the middle of the finger in the middle of the sensor. As we can see, placed here, we need to locate this section of this area of the fingerprint in the middle of the sensor. This will ensure that we have fully implemented the fingerprint correctly. So exactly in the middle, covering the full sensor, but not going any side of the sensor. So we need to make sure we are covering the whole sensor without any angle of the finger, and that the finger is always touching the sensor. Our recommendation is to use the index finger and the middle finger for most common use and the most successful registration. Comparison between the two models. So templates, all readers support 7,000 templates and 7,000 users. We need to remember it's one template per user. If we are looking on the EM support, so the AYB8520 and the AYB8620 support EM 125 kHz read. If you are looking on MIFARE CSN read, the AYB8550 and the AYB8650 support MIFARE CSN read. All of them fits for indoor, while the AYB8620 and the AYB8650 also fit for outdoor use with IP65 rating and IK10 rating for wanderproof. At this point, I'm assuming that most of you are familiar with AxTraxNG platform, and this part of the webinar will focus on the biometric integration and feature coming with the upcoming version. The AxTraxNG BIO 8000 biometric terminal support will be available from version 27.6 of AxTraxNG. It should be available soon. For better version, please contact your local Rosslare support team representative or your local Rosslare partner. At this version, we added some new features such as the dual credential authentication and credential type, and more features that are not part of today's agenda. Let's go to AxTraxNG and see how to integrate a bioITazon terminal into AxTraxNG platform. So going back to AxTraxNG, we see the look and feel hasn't changed a lot from the current version you know. The major change is the adding of the biometric into the tree view. Let's go and review the biometric and the terminal on AxTraxNG. So on the terminal, we can see the same look and feel as we already familiar with AxTraxNG. That means that the look and feel on the top of the table wall, we have the two buttons we're always familiar with from each table view in AxTraxNG. One for manual door opening and the other for print the view that we see below. In addition, we have the plus button to add new terminal, edit terminal to edit a terminal from the list, delete a terminal, and other two buttons that are not supported with the current available terminals that we have. In addition, we added a new search box that enables us to do a smart search. So if I will look for a training, I will sort the list following the text I search. Looking on the table view, let's see what options we have on the table itself. So first of all, we have the enable disable. If it's marked, it means the terminal is enabled, and the AxTraxNG server will try to communicate with the terminal. The description is just a name of the terminal, whatever you decide to set the name. Others, this is the physical ID of the terminal in the database, in the AxTraxNG database. Serious number, this is the series of the terminal. We are planning to add support for more terminals in the future, and this is why we are differentiating between the series. Model number, which model is connected. We can say if the reader is an indoor unit or an outdoor unit, but we cannot identify if the unit is a MIFARE unit or a EM unit. AC reader points to the reader port where the terminal is physically connected. And here it's a logical communication between a physical port and the terminal. Status, this means the network status and communication with the terminal. By normal, you need to see OK. And the downloads point for any information need to be downloaded to the terminal. Normally, we are talking about fingerprint downloads to the terminal. All fingerprints are stored in the terminal. Now we will try to add a new terminal. So first of all, I will connect the terminal to the PC, to the panel. I have already prepared a cabling for the terminal, and I will show you the connection. So I have here an AYB 8520 EM version of the indoor unit. I will connect the power with the power cable connector, the weekend, and the network. Using a network cable, I will connect the terminal to my local network. And one, making sure the reader is in normal mode. So we can see the blue LED is fading in and out. And we will go back to AxTraxNG and try to add the terminal. So to add the terminal, I will click the green plus button to add a terminal. The terminal configuration window will open. At this window, we can see on general, we can set the description of the terminal, I will just call it a webinar for today. If to enable or disable, the type of the model number of the terminal, I can change and the picture will change accordingly. But this also coming after physically connecting to a terminal, and this will automatically be added. On the information box, we can see the firmware version, serial number of the terminal, and if the terminal attached to any access control reader, to any physical and logical connection to a reader in the system. On the network box, we can see the MAC address, the IP address, and the port of the terminal. In addition, we have the capacity information of the terminal, so we can see how many fingerprint templates we have available on the terminal and how many are used already. To configure the terminal IP, I will go to the configuration. And going to the configuration, I can see a table view. On the table view, we have a few information that we need to look over. First of all, we have the serial number. Serial number is the way we identify the terminal. So it's the last 8 digits of the serial number printed on the terminal sticker. If we go back to the back cover of the terminal, we can see serial number is printed in 2 locations. One, it's here with the barcode, and the other is on the other side of the back cover. It's over here. This is the serial number. We have the MAC address. This is the physical MAC address of the terminal. The IP address set in the terminal. The model number. Status. Status we will see available or not available, or a name of the terminal. If I see a name of the terminal, this means that this terminal is attached to my server, and this is the description of the terminal. If I see available, it means that this terminal is not configured on my PC. On the configuration, we can see this is referring to the IP configuration and the handshake between the terminal and the AxTraxNG server. So configure means that there is an handshake and the server IP of the terminal is the same as your server IP. Not configure means that this IP is not configured to connect to the current server of the IP. So looking on my serial number, I see the last 8 digits are 1851010. So this is the terminal I'm going to use. And if needed to change the IP address, port, and default gateway, I will change it now. In order to display how this section is working, I will change the port. So I will just change the port a bit and click apply. Once clicking apply, AxTraxNG will send the new configuration to the terminal. And once the terminal is configured on AxTraxNG server, we can start adding the terminal to the server. Clicking OK will fill up all the information on the terminal in the terminal configuration window. So we can see the serial number is the same as we wanted to connect. We can see the series. You can see the MAC address, IP address, and port. Clicking OK will add the terminal to AxTraxNG. As you can see, terminal is enabled, description is webinar as we said. The physical address is 11. This is the physical ID in AxTraxNG database. Serious number, model number, AC reader is empty since we didn't attach this terminal to any physical reader in the system. Status is okay, and no downloads are waiting. Now that we have a BIO 8000 terminal connected, we need to attach the terminal to a reader. Attaching a terminal to a reader is the way AxTraxNG manages the user on the terminal. And will eventually download all the relevant fingerprints to a terminal based on the user access group. This means that all the fingerprints inside the terminal are based on the user access group. So only user with permission to access the reader where the terminal is connected will be download the fingerprint to the terminal. To attach a terminal to the reader, we need to open the reader properties window of the reader where the terminal is physically connected. On today's example, the terminal is connected to network 1, panel 1, reader 1. Excuse me. So I will open the reader configuration window, and we can see here a new addition was added. So on the bottom of the window, we can see the biometric edition, where we can attach the terminal to the physical reader. Clicking on the biometric will enable this box, and from the drop-down menu, I can select a free terminal to attach to this reader. Only free terminals that are not attached to any other reader in the system will be shown on this list. I will select the webinar terminal and click OK. If I have any fingerprints and other information needed to be downloaded to this terminal, the system will start initiate the terminal and download the information to the terminal needed. So as you can see, we download some fingerprint to the terminal. Now that we have a terminal set up and attached to a reader, we can start enrolling user fingerprint on the system. To enroll fingerprint, we need to go to the user department and either add new user or edit existing user. On today's example, we will add a new user to the system. So I will go to department, user, department. I will go to training department, and I will add a new user by clicking the green plus button. Just for the example of today, I will set the first name as biometric, last name as the webinar, and I will set the access group as master to make sure everything will be downloaded and I can demonstrate how the fingerprints are being downloaded to the terminal. Now we go to the commercial type. The ones that you are already familiar with AxTraxNG, we know that this tab used to call codes. In addition, the codes detail container was changed to details. On this, we can see some new things coming from AxTraxNG 27.6. One of them is new buttons below the digital container. Enroll from fingerprint reader, and we will go to this button in a few minutes. Enroll from UHF reader, this is the same as we have before. Enroll from desktop reader, this is exactly the same as we have before. You can use the DR6255, DR12C, DR955 BT is coming soon, and MD08. Enroll license plate, this is a new feature coming from AxTraxNG 27.6. I will not go deep into this feature, but this is a translator from a alphanumeric license plate to a weekend ID. And add fob list, exactly the same as we use. In addition, on the credential types, we have a new credential type column that we can select the physical credential type the user is using. So we have BLE, NFC, UHF, LPR, and other. So we can say if this user is using the BLE app, a credential, NFC app credential, UHF, standard card, if it's an LPR, or any other credential you may use. In addition, there is another credential that is not selectable from the list, and this is the fingerprint credential. This fingerprint credential will automatically attach to a credential once we enrolling a fingerprint to the system. On the other hand, we also have the details. The details will show you regarding the fingerprint which finger is enrolled. Now, let's start to enroll fingerprint. So I will go enroll from fingerprint reader, and let's see what's happened. The enroll fingerprint window will pop up. On this window, we can select from which device we want to enroll the fingerprint. We can select from a desktop reader or from a network terminal. Both of the fingerprint enrollment are the same. In addition, we can select the protocol once more protocols will be available. We can select which fingerprint to enroll. Each user can enroll up to 10 different fingerprints. I will show today how to enroll from a desktop reader and how to enroll from a remote terminal. So let's start with the desktop reader. As we can see, automatically the desktop reader connected to my PC is detected. I will start with the index finger of my left hand, and I will place the desktop reader in front of the camera so that you can see how the enrollment is done. Clicking enroll, we send a command to the desktop enrollment to place the finger. In addition, on the notification box, it's saying to the user, place the finger. Now, the process has failed because I didn't present my finger to the terminal. I will do the process again, and now I will place my finger. So, index finger of left hand, clicking enroll, placing my finger in the location of the terminal, and from some reason it's failed, I will try again. Again, index finger of my left hand, enroll, and success. Now that I have the fingerprint success, I can click OK and see fingerprint credential type was added, and the details left second finger, it's the index finger of left hand. Now we'll do the same with the middle finger of left hand, but I will use the remote terminal for the enrollment. So I'm placing the remote terminal in front of the camera, going again to the fingerprint enroll window, selecting a terminal, and from the Doppler menu, select which terminal I want to use. In this case, I will use the webinar terminal. I can see that the left index finger is already enrolled. So I can try to enroll it again, and this will delete the current finger in the system, or to enroll any other finger. I will go to the middle finger and click enroll. Again, the terminal is waiting for a fingerprint, and place your left three finger is shown here. The reason the process has failed now because I didn't present my finger. I will go again. Oh, sorry, enroll fingerprint, terminal, webinar, index finger, middle finger of left hand, clicking enroll, and placing my finger. 2 beeps, success sound, and success notice is here on AxTraxNG. Clicking OK will add the terminal, the fingerprint to the details, and I can see it's a fingerprint and it's the middle finger of left hand. Clicking OK will download the terminal, the fingerprint to the terminals, so we can see on the event list that the information is starting to be downloaded, and it will be downloaded to any terminal on the system that is on the user access group. So you can see the webinar biometric was downloaded to training, to AYB 8550 and to webinar. Both finger was downloaded to all available terminal in my system. Let's test it now. So I will go just for the access event so we can see the access event. Test my index finger first. Success sound, green LED. On the event list, I can see access granted, webinar biometrics. Here I will show all events online. We can see 2 events for fingerprint. I will do it again. Again, success sound. So I can see one event is coming from the panel, access granted, and another event is coming from the terminal itself, showing non-finger on webinar terminal, and the details is webinar biometric left finger, left hand index finger. Let's try the second finger. Again, success sound. And I can see on the event list that this was actually the middle finger of left hand coming from the panel itself. This is the weekend ID coming and coming from the terminal. As you know, we can enroll 15 different credentials per user. This means that we can enroll 10 different fingers per user. But we need to remember that if you're enrolling 10 different fingers per user, we are reducing the number of users can be supported by the terminal, since the terminal support only 7,000 biometric templates. And this means that if you're using 10 fingerprint per user, it means that in the total, we will have 700 users. Now that I'm done reviewing the biometric section of this webinar, I would like to review with you another new features we are implementing on this version, and this is the user dual credential authentication feature. This feature enables the user to identify himself using 2 different credentials on the same reader. For example, finger and card, UHF tag and BLE ID, NFC and physical RFID card, or any other combination of 2 user credentials. These features help you to increase the system security level by using multi-factor authentication of the user. To set user dual credential authentication, we need to go again to the reader configuration. I will use the same reader I used earlier. So it's network 1, panel 1, reader 1. And then we will try to set the user dual authentication. This user dual authentication can be set on any reader on the system except the AC215A panels. So any other panel coming from Rosslare is supported. On this presentation today, I'm using an AC225 panel. So the user dual authentication window is placed here. As you can see, this is the user dual authentication section. This is where we used to have the secure mode time zone. So the secure mode time zone was replaced by the user dual authentication, and in order to achieve a secure card and PIN option, you need to use the user dual authentication. Enabling the user dual authentication will open the options on this container. Time zone, this is when the user dual authentication will work. You can select always, you can select never, and I will explain why you need to select never in some cases later. And you can select a certain time zone. For example, during work hour, I need only one user credential authentication, and no working hour, I want the user to be authentication by 2 different factors. Number of sessions, can be set to 1 or 2, and this means how many users can try to be authenticated on the same time. The default value is 2, and my recommendation is to set it to 1. The session timeout is how long the controller needs to wait until the second credential is coming. The default value is 10. On this presentation, I will show you with 5 seconds in order to show the timeout quicker. So I have set the time zone to always. Number of sessions are 1. And now I will click OK. The information will be downloaded to the terminal, to the controller, and I will try to access with my finger again. So we'll place my finger, success sound, and the events I'm getting is user dual authentication mode initiate, and access denied, user dual authentication timeout. This means that I didn't authenticate myself with 2 different credentials. Now we'll enroll a card to the user, and we can test the user dual authentication using fingerprint and cards. So adding a card to the user, going back to the training department under user department, editing the biometric webinar user, credential tab, and adding a Weekend 26 card with a facility code of 109 and card ID of 9722. Clicking OK will download the information both to the controller, and we download the fingerprint again to the terminal just to make sure nothing was changed. Now we present the card to the terminal. I can see user dual authentication mode initiate. If I will try to present the card again, I will see access denied since I didn't authenticate myself. Now let's do it correctly. I will place the card and the finger. And I can see access granted. I can do it also vice versa. Finger and card. And access granted. I can do it even by finger and finger. So let's try to do finger and finger. And this is access granted by finger and finger. So we can see the user dual authentication initiate by finger, by the index finger of the left hand. And the access granted was by the middle finger of left hand. Now another feature that coming with the user dual authentication credential is the way to enforce certain users on the dual authentication. Looking at the user properties windows, we can see a box, a container added called user dual authentication override on reader right on this location. When enabling this container, we can see 2 different settings. One is a forced time zone, and the second is immune time zone. Excuse me. The forced time zone means that this user will be forced to use dual authentication no matter which time zone was set on the reader. Please note that in order to use an override, we must enable the user dual authentication on the reader. And this is why I said earlier that there is scenarios where you want to set user dual authentication on the reader with a never time zone. And this scenario is when we want to enforce the users to use dual authentication always for certain users. And this is the way we can do it. The immune time zone, exactly the same, give us immunity on a reader that is set for dual authentication. For today's demonstration, I will set the immunity for always. And this means this user will always be immune for dual authentication and will need only one-factor authentication on the reader. I will save this configuration. And I will authenticate myself using a card only. So taking back my user card, and I can see access granted using a card only. Any other users on the same terminal will have to use dual authentication. And if this user, test Mickey fingerprint R2, is not immune to dual authentication. One thing you must know that any dual authentication configuration of the user is a cross system. So it will affect all the reader and terminals in the system. It does not, you cannot assign it to certain terminals readers to be immune, and you can select certain to not be immune or override. Now I've done the section of the webinar, and I would like to see if you have any questions so I can answer. So if you have any open questions, please type it on the Q&A section, and I will try my best to answer them. If not, I will end this webinar for today. Okay, so I would like to thank you again for being here today and do a short summary of today's webinar. So we have seen all the product line in the BIO 8000 product line. We have seen how to connect and configure the BIO 8000 terminal. We have seen how to attach a terminal to a reader and the outcome of this following the user access group in AxTraxNG. We have seen how to enroll a fingerprint on the system using a desktop enrollment unit and a remote terminal. And we have seen how to configure the user dual authentication feature. So I would like to close the terminal. Thank you again for being with me today. I really appreciate you investing your time to join me on today's webinar. If you have any questions regarding the BIO 8000 product line, please let me know. You can email me, email any one of my global support team members and your local Rosslare partner, as well as your local Rosslare sales manager. Thank you again, and goodbye.